What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mr. Solo Dolo here, back with a video here, and I'm gonna talk about Future first week estimate sales. I did my review on Future's brand new album, Honest, and I told you all that I didn't really mess with his album like that because I really wasn't feeling it, and I felt like the album was just lazy and just not well put together and stuff. And now I'm here looking at his album sales and see a lot of people feel like I feel. Future is set to do between 45K to 50K, and for those of you who don't know what that means 45,000 to 50,000. And to me, a guy like Future, seeing as all the play and all the praise he gets from some of these mainstream radio stations and stuff, and how a lot of his songs are on rotation, you know, he just came off tour with Drake and stuff, I would think he'd be doing bigger numbers than what they're estimating here. Now, they could be wrong. Estimates are just guesses. They're not real. They're based off kind of like sales on iTunes and how people go out, the consumers go out to like places like Target and Walmart and Best Buy, where you decide to buy your music from, go out and stuff. But if he's only doing 45 between 50, that shows you how much people really care for Future's music as a whole. Now, a lot of people call Future a mixtape rapper. I kind of agree with that because Future is the type of artist that he kind of can't push albums out, but he can push out catchy singles enough where they'll get on the radio and he'll get paid off that. And mixtapes and doing tours and clubs and stuff, he's getting paid off that. He's one of those artists that's not going to get paid for album sales, obviously. And it's just very disappointing to see Future, one of the hottest names in rap right now, doing these type of numbers. You know, Iggy's set to sell more than he is, and she's between the 50K, 55K, 50 to 55K album sales range and stuff. So I mean, it's just really sad and pathetic to see that you know, Future's doing those type of numbers. You know, I would expect this for someone with their first album, but for a guy like Future that's on constant rotation on the radio, being featured on just about everybody's freaking song, I would think a guy like this could at least push out 100,000 the first week. But he can't even do that, and this really shows you how these labels try to push out these artists and stuff, and then they try to push out their album and expect people to take them seriously. And it's just really sad to see an artist, a rapper doing these type of numbers, man. It really is. You know, I feel like I know we're in kind of like a recession type thing. And I know albums really don't sell that well in this day and era. But we got a lot of artists that don't even get radio play, like a Schoolboy Q. Look at his Oxymoron. It sold 100,000 copies and is at the 200,000, 200. I think it's 216. I believe somewhere like that now. I mean, it's just really sad. It's just really sad to see this guy that gets all this radio play and gets all this praise from mainstream consumers and stuff, and people can't even, and people that support him and like him claim to be fans of him and can't even go out and buy his album, man. It's just really sad, man. It's ridiculous. It just really shows you how these labels depend on the radio to really put album sales out there for artists and stuff, man. It's just really sad. It's really sad. You know, I don't even listen to the radio anymore because they play garbage music on the radio. All they're playing is Migos and Future and all those guys, and I just really don't feel it. You know, Atlanta may be winning, but in album sales range, to me, they're not winning. You know, I feel like album sales make an artist. If you're not pushing records, you're not really selling. You're not really a big artist as you claim you are and want to think you are. And you know what, Future, I think Future's a little cocky and too high on himself and thinks that, oh yeah, I'm doing this and I got singles on the radio right now. Singles on the radio don't mean a damn thing. I mean, look who gets played on the radio. I mean, even Kanye West last year when Yeezus came out last year, look what Kanye said. He didn't want to be associated with the radio. He didn't even release singles off the album because he didn't want to be associated with the radio and what the radio plays this day and time. And I can't really blame Kanye. I mean, who really wants to be associated? It's kind of like nowadays, it's like the radio is kind of like nobody wants to be, when the good artists get played up there, you know, if you're not a Jay-Z, Beyonce, or any of those guys. And not to say Jay-Z and Beyonce push out bad music, but at the same time, you know, it's just like, if you put out a great album, it sells more than the album that gets all the promotion, all the push. I mean, look back last year at some of the disappointing album sales for a lot of disappointing albums. One comes to mind, 2 Chainz' album last year, based off a true story. Part 2. Look how bad those album sales were for the first week. I think he did like 63,000 maybe the first week. And his first album he sold like 100,000 copies the first week of his first album. I mean, it just really goes to show the how bad of a state rap music as a whole is really in right now. You know, all this braggadocious stuff, money and cars, it gets over on the radio. And it gets over to some people who listen to the radio. But it doesn't mean that people are going to actually go out and spend their hard-earned cash on your album because they can't take it serious. And it just goes to show you, if you don't put out quality music, nobody's going to be checking for you and nobody's going to like you. Take Future for a case in point here. And yes, I know a lot of people... You know, I know a lot of people may disagree with me about Future and stuff. I mean, but the album was disappointing. I mean, I can't even say I enjoyed the album. It was only like 2 songs on the album that I really enjoyed. And after that, it was just a wrap for me. I felt like the older songs were better than the songs he had on the album. I mean, it's just really sad. Future's a mixtape rapper, man. From the get-go, he's a mixtape rapper. A lot of people say this because it is true. He is. It feel like he produces a better mixtape than he can an album. Same goes with Meek Mills. I feel like he can produce a better mixtape than he can an album. And when you got rappers like that can't even produce a decent album, we got a problem, man. And these numbers for his album really tells the story of how people really feel about Future's release. A lot of people didn't even know he had an album out, really. I mean, just really goes to show you that you could be the biggest thing on the radio, but it doesn't mean a damn thing to the consumers that go out and your fans that actually go out and support your album and buy your album. And it's just really sad to see an artist like Future who gets all the push and all the publication to be doing numbers like this. I mean, Schoolboy Q did 100,000 copies the first week and didn't even have a radio single. You know, they weren't playing Man of the Year like that on the radio. They weren't playing Break the Bank. They wasn't playing Collard Greens like that until the album came out and stuff. I mean, they really weren't playing his music on the radio. You know, it's just sad. Kendrick Lamar sold 200,000 copies the first week. They weren't playing Kendrick Lamar before his album did all those numbers. You know, they weren't feeling him, you know. But then when his album came out and it was successful, all the labels like, we got to get behind this and we got to push a single out on the radio and stuff. You know, I think he released, not Compton, but he released, what was that song with Dr. Dre? Oh, man. The Recipe. That's it, with Dr. Dre. He released that. And that song wasn't getting any radio play. Then he released Swimming Pools. Swimming Pools didn't really start to pick up till his album came out. The Good Kid, Mad City album came out. I mean, it's just really sad to see these artists that get all this radio play and can't even push a decent amount of number of albums out. It just shows you that this music industry is full of BS and just full of bullshit. They sit here and think the radio is going to help an artist get album sales, which is the dumbest thing in the world. No, what helps an artist get album sales is putting out a great album. It's putting out an album worth of material that someone can attach to. That's why I say, if you're not talking about nothing, just shut the hell up, man. You're not talking about anything. That's why guys like Cudi, Schoolboy, Kendrick, you know, hell, even Drake. Drake doesn't need a radio to sell fucking albums. And anybody who thinks there's a fucking idiot. Drake doesn't need fucking radio to sell an album because he's Drake and because he has a unique way of he does music and stuff, and the way he raps. He's a very talented guy, and that's why he sells albums, not because of one radio song on the radio. Oh, he's gonna sell 100,000 copies or 200,000 the first week out the gate. Guys like Eminem, Jay-Z, they don't sell albums because of the radio. They sell albums because they actually put out quality albums and not crappy ass, lazy ass. Feel like, oh, well, I got a radio hit, so I guess I'm going to sell an album. I mean, just these new rappers, man, are just sad. And it's really sad to see that hip-hop being represented by guys like Future and Juicy J, who can't even push out 100,000 the first week. You know, it's just really sad. I mean, hell, Wale, a guy that I personally used to like when I was in high school and stuff, but now I don't really mess with his new stuff because I feel like Wale is changing up because he's with Rick Ross. But, I mean, just disappointing, man. Rick Ross, he doesn't even have really a hit single out right now. And he's not even freaking like, you know, like, his album hit #1. He sold 100,000 his first week. Now, it may be disappointing compared to his last album that sold 200,000 and his other albums, but it still was a good first week sales for Rick Ross. So he didn't even have really a radio single playing. The Devil's Lie wasn't getting played like that on the radio. I mean, it's just really sad, man, to see these hot rappers, these so-called hot rappers, sell these type of disappointing looking ass numbers and with an even more disappointing crappy ass album. You know, like I said in my review about Future's album, I was really disappointed with the album. Wasn't feeling it. I felt like he just was being lazy, trap songs all over the place. The album had no structure. It was just a lot about the album that I just wasn't feeling. And you know, when y'all come out the album only enjoying 2 songs out the whole album, we got a problem. You need to go back to the drawing board. And he even said in an interview that he has more songs that didn't even make the album and stuff that he's gonna put on his next album. So he's gonna release another album later on this year. I'm like, you can't even fucking sell 100,000 copies and you're gonna put out another album later on this year? Are you serious? I mean, that's like a guy selling 12,000 copies and then he's gonna come right back later on in the year and put out another album just to sell the same disappointing damn album sales. Just stupid stuff, man. I mean, these rappers just make me laugh when I look at them. They think they're hot shit, but when the album sells, when it's time to put the pedal to the metal, they just flop under pressure. And I mean, it's just really sad, man. I had a lot of high hopes for Future's album. Going in, I was like, he's been releasing some quality, good music and stuff. He's been on a lot of singles, so I know he had to come with this heat. And the way the label was promoting him, making him, his relationship with Sierra, baby mom, it just, I don't understand it, man. I mean, it's just sad. It's really sad to see how these artists are trying to push out this crap and think people are supposed to spend their hard-earned money, on this crap that they call music. Just really sad, man, and very disappointing. But I look at guys like Cudi who don't get played on the radio. I look at guys like Schoolboy who don't really get much play on the radio. I look at guys like Kendrick Lamar who really wasn't getting played like that on the radio. I look at guys like, guys like them that don't get played like that on the radio, but they're still selling albums. They're still making gold plaques and platinum plaques. It's like it's backwards this day and age. It's like the good rappers don't really get that play on the radio and get that promotion they deserve until they come out and they sell at least a decent amount of albums, and then all of a sudden the label wants to get behind them, make the next big thing. And it's like the labels, oh, this is our golden child, comes out, flops, and it's like, oh well, we made a mistake and we didn't ship this many copies of the album the best. Just excuses. I remember last year when they were trying to make up an excuse for 2 Chainz, talking about, oh, we didn't ship enough of his albums out the first week to get the good sales we were expecting. No, you pushed out enough shipments of that album. It was just some fact you didn't expect him to flop. You thought 2 Chainz was his momentum as a dumbass, corny ass rapper was gonna last long, and then you thought that he was gonna actually sell a decent amount of albums. No, dumbasses, he wasn't. Just really sad, man. That's all I had to really talk about in this video. I had to talk about this because this is just really, really sad. Future doing 45 to 50K prediction. He could do lower than that if the predictions are wrong. Imagine him doing 38,000 or oh my god. Just sad shit, man. Just really sad. When Iggy Azalea, a girl that hasn't really even been noticed like that, is selling more than you. Her album was #1 on iTunes, and his like #3. Oh my god, man. It's just really, 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 really sad. It's really sad. Where's the hype? Where's the fanfare? Where's all that shit? Just really sad, man. It's really, really, really sad. But that's all I had to really talk about in this video. Right now, I'm kind of looking through to see what I want to review. I might go back and review some albums that came out earlier this year, like Schoolboy's, Cudi's, Isaiah Rashad's demo EP. I might go back and review some of those because really there's nothing really is out right now. So it's like I might have to go back and review some of those, which is not bad because I really enjoy those albums. So of course I want to review them. So I don't know, I might make some videos next week of some reviews, but I just had to do this video because this was just, that really wow, really, 45 to 50? What if he does lower than that? What are they going to say? Oh, well, we made a mistake and we didn't ship enough copies out and we got to get a recount of the first week's sales so that way. No, you don't. He really sold 45 or whatever the fuck he's going to sell next week. Low number he's going to sell next week. And then, I heard the Breakfast Club talking about it, and DJ Envy say respectable numbers. You think 45 to 50K is respectable for an artist like Future? A guy that's been getting played, a guy that's been getting promoted? You think those are respectable numbers? Man, I couldn't even believe he said that. I would understand for Iggy doing 55 because she's not really known like that, and she's just really getting out there for the world to hear her. But a guy like Future, man, has been getting all this promotion and stuff, and all these singles and features and shit. I mean, I would expect this guy to at least be doing about 100,000 by now, man. It just really goes to show you that these fans, that these so-called radio fans who listen to the radio, I'm like, oh, I like Future. But it doesn't mean they're buying his album. Because Charlamagne says it all the time. N-words don't buy albums. And a lot of N-words don't buy albums. They don't. They support a person, but they don't mean they're gonna actually go out. I'm gonna actually go out and buy his album, go out and buy Future's album and stuff. They don't do that crap. They don't do it. I mean, I buy albums. If I like it, I buy it. If I don't like it, I don't buy it. And sometimes I download the album and don't pay 1 cent. I have my artists that I do buy, like Cudi, Asher, Schoolboy, Kendrick, Eminem. I didn't really like Eminem's last project, so I can't really say Eminem. But if he was back to old M, I would buy Eminem's projects and stuff. But if you're not none of my favorite rappers, I really don't buy your music because I know you might disappoint me. And I ain't spent all my hard-earned money on your album, and you disappoint me. Just know. But anyway, this is your boy, Mr. Solo Dolo here saying peace. I'm out, and I'll see you guys next week. Peace. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on this video. Give me your thoughts.